Ale tam miałem dużego kebaba, ja miałem średni kebab, to wiesz.
Welcome back to the 21 Convention 2019 of Warsaw, Poland. Our next speaker is known on YouTube as a Spartan Life Coach, huge channel with over 100,000 subscribers. I've called him previously and now YouTube's #1 bad boy of psychology. But above and beyond that, he's helped me personally heal from a very traumatic and toxic relationship. This is a man who's not only helped my life and improved it and impacted it, he's probably saved it several times. Without further ado, please let me welcome for his first time to the 21 Convention stage, Richard Grannon.
Well done, Nick. Thank you very much. Thank you. Gentlemen, it's my first time speaking here, and it's my first time speaking within the manosphere. I did not know what to expect. I have received a warm welcome, and for that I'm grateful. More than that, I have noticed in this group here, the IQ standard is a little bit higher than I'm used to dealing with. I can randomly stop any of you and find myself in a conversation about politics, economics, freaking linguistics, science, and I'm like, okay, I better keep up with these fuckers. So I've changed this speech over the last 2 days, and I've been like, we can dial it up a few notches here. You guys have a problem. It's not a problem that I'm familiar with, but resolving problems is what I do. I work in the field of psychology, and I help people to resolve problems. And I also am growing as a human being and in my role as a life coach as time goes by. Predominantly, I focus on trauma. Yes, it's usually relationship trauma, but resolving trauma is what I do. At this stage in my progression, I have found one of the best ways of resolving trauma is through philosophy. Psychology was always a branch of philosophy. You go to the oldest universities and you'll find the psychology department is a subset of the philosophy department. In my humble opinion, psychology should seek to be scientific, but should never seek to be a science. In fact, it can't. It always fails and makes itself look ridiculous whenever it tries. The solution is philosophy to trauma, because when people are traumatized and something bad happens in their lives, they have to rebuild their map of reality and recreate a new narrative that allows that to enter that space. The problems that you guys face and are here to deal with, I think are trauma-rooted, are about a narrative that has become corrupted. The problem is a philosophical and ideological one, and the solution is a philosophical one, which is good news to say to a group of men who like being philosophical. And we don't need to pull away from that. That is, he dares to suggest our natural inclination, sexist Nazi that I am, suggesting that your biology would determine anything about your personality characteristics. May the feminazis throw me straight into the gulag as soon as this is over. There is a war on against men. It's couched as a war on masculinity. It isn't. Masculinity is neither here nor there. That's a red herring. Mr. Jack Donovan said yesterday that most of the attacks leveraged against men by the feminists are actually he suggested they were a red herring, and he said it's usually reverse psychology. I'm going to, in the first section of this, try and put forward a hypothesis that yes, it is reverse psychology that they're using, but it's also pure projection. The notion of toxic masculinity is not owned by men. It is owned by angry women. They are the ones who have become toxically masculine, not us. We have become, unfortunately, we're not off the hook, fragile in our masculinity. They have become toxic in their masculinity. We have become fragile in our masculinity. I'm going to put forward the idea that this is both an actual overt conscious conspiracy. I am a conspiracy theorist. That puts people off. but I am a crazy conspiracy theorist. And I think this is just the way life has gone. I want to offer you a reframe. This is what I do when I'm working with people in psychology and we're working through trauma. I want to give you new ways of thinking. I don't just want to give you new thoughts to think. I want to give you new strategies, new weapons for thinking about this. I want to talk to you about something that most people think they understand, but that is not very well understood at all. It's the principle of yin and yang. People will tell you, oh, yin is feminine and yang is masculine. I want to talk about this a little bit because it lacks cultural loading. A lot of our ideas of masculinity and femininity are culture bound. This is not, because even for Chinese people, this would not be a natural part of modern day Chinese culture. It's ancient and it's foreign. Great, it's safe. It's also a very useful model. Yin is receiving. Yin is holding. Yin is nurturing. Yin is dark. The darkness of a cave, the darkness of a house, the darkness of your bed. We love yin. We're always trying to get back to yin. He winks Freudianly. We're always trying to get back into that space. That's why we have the concept of a man cave. Who amongst you does not enjoy going to bed? That is entering yin. When you go into your bed, you're entering yin. If you take a nice lady there with you, you are also yang entering yin. Yang is light. It is that which is. Yin is that which is not yet. It is not. It's often talked about as being chaos. This is a difficult concept in Chinese and Japanese philosophy. It's more the realm of pure potentiality. Women are an empty space, but it's not empty. It's a pregnant space. Pregnant with possibility of what might be. Yang is what is. Yang is what has already occurred. Yang is penetration. Yin is receiving. Everybody likes MMA. Everybody likes boxing. I throw a right cross and I hit my opponent in the face. That is yang. He didn't see it coming. He got smacked in the face. He received it. That's yin. If he dodges it, his martial strategy is now yin. If he ducks under it and does a double leg takedown on me, he has now reversed into his yang. He is penetrating my space. Oops. What will my solution to that be? What did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu give us? A yin strategy. I lie on my back and I open my legs. Ooh, it's not very masculine. However, once he's inside of guard, from there, you know the drill. Arm locks, triangle chokes, whatever it is. That's yin and yang manifested. Don't get caught on the idea of women and men. It's yin and yang. All of your organs have yin and yang in them. If you have too much yin or yang in an organ, you'll die. You have yin and yang when you walk. If it's all yang, then what happens is like what has happened with me is a knee injury. If there's too much muscular tension, then it creates injuries. If there's too much yin, I won't be able to walk because I'll just be flopping everywhere. I dance. I recommend all of you learn. I'm not going to do the how to get goals stuff, but there's two pieces of advice I would give you. Learning to fight and learning to dance both seem to help for reasons that we'll explain somewhere else. My particular thing is bachata. Jack Donovan also mentioned that masculinity is the perimeter. This is exactly Chinese philosophy. Exactly. It is the perimeter. It is a wall or a tower. Who's obsessed with walls and towers? Anthony's favorite man. Walls and towers are masculinity. The home, a house, a cave, a place that you would bring somebody where they're protected, that would be yin. A wall is a boundary. A tower is a means of threat. When we're in this space and we're talking about the perimeter, it's bachata is a Dominican style. It's kind of like salsa, but it's a little bit closer. It's a bit more sensual. It's a bit slower. My stance for bachata is here. I take the woman around the back and I hold her here. I am yang. I am structure, if I'm good. My form is upright. She dances within my form and my structure. I lead her. When my arm is around her back, this is the perimeter. Because on a busy dance floor, I'm to protect her. And those of you who know your combat Tai Chi, this is Peng, ward off. So this, if it's good and the energy is strong, is yang. I must be yang in order to lead. This is all I'm talking about. Very, very simple stuff. Gets a little bit more complex, and this is where it gets relevant to the issues that you guys are facing at the moment. In yin and yang, we have two polarities. My position would be polarity is good. my position would also be polarity is essential, as is integration. We think of the yin-yang symbol and we think of something that is static. That's only because in ancient China they didn't have gifts. I spoke to a doctor of Chinese philosophy about this 2 months ago, just to double check I'm not talking out my arse. The yin-yang symbol rolls. When you see it, sometimes you'll see it drawn with arrows around it. Think of it rolling. It's always rolling. It moves. It moves. It's not static. Static is death. It has polarity, but it's integrated. No yang without yin, and no yin without yang. Even your genitals are formed that way. There is yin, it's your pee hole, in the yang. There is yang in the yin. That's the clitoris. Allegedly. I read about it on the internet. Any one of you want to help me with that, just let me know. It's a totally neutral concept, but it's necessary at all times to appreciate that there must be yin in yang, and there must be some yang in the yin, and it needs to integrate. The stage we're at right now is we're trying to kill polarity. We're trying to have everybody meet in the middle. This is doom. In Taoism, in Confucianism, this was predicted. It is doom. We are doomed. If we continue this route, we're fucked, because we're losing polarity, we're losing integration, we're both separating, and so we're refusing to come together, we're separating, and we're denying parts of ourselves. Where did this come from? In my humble opinion, this forced, Stalinist, propagandized, brainwashing horseshit of making everything meet in the middle and be androgynous. Why would I try and spell a hard word in public? I should have just written am. Androgynous, is that right? Did I spell it right? You can tell me it's not right. I'm not. You're dyslexic. What has happened is both a conscious effort and a byproduct of a fallacy in the human software. We like things, we like beads, we like stuff, we like shiny objects. Somewhere along the line, we can track it historically, began in the 1920s. Edward Bernays became the godfather of public relations. He's the nephew of Sigmund Freud. He took his uncle's insights into human nature and used them to exploit people to control them, to get them to buy stuff that they didn't need, but that they wanted. That was what he was told to do. He said, Edward, we need more money in the system. We need to reap more taxes. These people are buying what they need in America. It was born in America. We need them to buy what they want. How are you going to do that? And so public relations, advertising, and marketing was born. We live in a consumerist society. I'm not going to get into this whole political thing about capitalism, anti-capitalism. Most people, when they're ranting about capitalism and the effects of capitalism, they mean consumerism. They mean cronyism. They mean corporatism. This is not capitalism. This is corporatism. And it is materialism. The problem with this is we've been encouraged deliberately to think of ourselves as individual brands. That's what makes you buy the trainers you bought. What does this say about me, these trainers? What do they say? What does this suit say about me? Is this a cool suit? I don't know. What's it telling you about me? It makes me individualistic. It makes me competitive. When you have a whole bunch of people who are individualistic, materialistic, and competitive, you no longer have tribes. You no longer have tribes. Without our tribe, we're fucked. We're not evolved to walk around in cities as individuals choosing the next fucking t-shirt to buy. We're not evolved for that. That's not the animal we are. We evolved for millennia working together in groups under very harsh conditions in low resource environments. Piero touched on this. It's a big problem. People come to me and say, why is everybody so anxious and depressed? I'm like, well, go outside and look. It's clear why everybody's anxious and depressed. So I think what we actually have right now is a state where we've been forced into yin as consumers. If you're a consumer, you're a vessel. You are to take what is given to you. You don't choose. You don't have, what this gentleman keeps mentioning, agency. Agency is taken away from you. Sovereignty is ripped away from you, and you now have an external locus of control, as they would say in psychology. An externalized locus of control is daddy or mummy gives it to me. I don't do it for myself. That would make you passive and too yin and a bit of a wimp, but it wouldn't be toxic. Where it becomes toxic is in the competition, is in the individualism. It becomes toxic because